After completing the crocheting of 2 main pieces, continue to crochet the wig and hair bun. Both the wig and hair bun are made using the magic ring method, crocheted in rounds. Among them, the 2 hair buns are identical, while the wig is slightly different. The new stitch techniques used include half double crochet, and treble crochet. Now, please watch me demonstrate. Let's start with the bride's wig. Here, I've already crocheted this part. For the bride's wig as well, you need to make a turning chain at the start of each round. Always finish by joining with a slip stitch. The stitches involved have all been explained earlier. Everyone should use the corresponding color yarn. Refer to the previous demonstration. Follow the chart to crochet. After completing it, crochet 1 chain stitch to secure. Leave a small yarn tail. Cut off the yarn. We will use the side with horizontal lines as the outside. The yarn tails can be hidden along the texture inside. You can also hide all the yarn tails completely. This way, the bride's wig is completed. After finishing the bride's wig, continue to crochet the groom's wig. The casting on and round 17 crochet method for the groom's wig are identical to the bride's. Everyone should first follow the chart to complete the first 17 rounds. I have already finished them. After completing them, continue to crochet round 18. Refer to the chart. First, crochet 9 single crochets. Then, crochet the first group of stitches. T represents a half double crochet. Start with 1 half double crochet. Yarn over once. Insert into the stitch. Yarn over. Draw the yarn through. There should be 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over again. Pull through all 3 loops on your hook in one go. The half double crochet is now completed. Correspondingly, there's also a V-shaped stitch on the upper right. Continue with the second half double crochet. Yarn over once. Insert into the stitch. Draw the yarn through. Yarn over. Pull through all 3 loops on your hook in one go. Another half double crochet is done. Next, F stands for double crochet. Start with 1 double crochet. Yarn over once. Insert into the stitch. Draw the yarn through. You now have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over. Pull the yarn through the first 2 loops on your hook. Now you have 2 loops remaining. Yarn over again. Pull through all loops at once. 1 double crochet is now completed. There is also a V-shaped stitch above the completed double crochet. Continue with the second double crochet. Yarn over once. Insert into the stitch. Draw the yarn through. You now have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over on after another. Pull the yarn through the first 2 loops. Repeat this 2 times. 1, 2. The second double crochet is now completed. Next, E stands for treble crochet. Yarn over twice. Insert into the stitch. Draw the yarn through. There are 4 loops on the hook. Yarn over. Pull the yarn through the first 2 loops. You now have 3 loops left. Yarn over again. Pull the yarn through the first 2 loops. Now you have 2 loops left. Yarn over once more. Pull through all loops at once. The treble crochet is now completed. Next, crochet 2 double crochets. First stitch. Second stitch. Then, crochet 2 half double crochets. After completing those, crochet 6 single crochets. This way, the first group is completed. Continue with the second group. That is 2 half double crochets. Two double crochets. One treble crochet. Yarn over twice. Insert the hook. Pull the yarn through. There are 4 loops on the hook. Yarn over on after another. Draw the yarn through the first 2 loops on the hook. Repeat this 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Another treble crochet is now completed. Continue with 2 double crochets. Two half double crochets. And 6 single crochets. The second group is now completed. Following the same method, continue with the third group. Now, round 18 is completed. Continue with rounds 19 and 20. Here, I have already finished the crochet method for round 19, which is exactly the same as round 18. Round 20 also does not introduce any new stitch techniques. Please refer to the chart to crochet. After completing it, fasten off the yarn normally and weave in the ends. I won't demonstrate it. So, that concludes the explanation for both wig styles. After completing the crochet for the wig, continue with crocheting the hair bun. The hair buns for both styles are identical. Here, I have already crocheted one. After completing it, leave about 50 centimeters of yarn tail, and fasten off normally. The hair bun is crocheted in the same way as the wig. The side with the horizontal lines should also be on the outside. The method is relatively simple, so I won't demonstrate it. Next, we will crochet the groom's outfit, which includes the apron and the coat. The apron is essentially a fabric piece like this. We will start from foundation chain and work back and forth. Then crochet the edging around the outer edge. For the coat, first crochet the side pieces and the back piece, then sew them together. Then crochet the edging around the outer edge. Finally, crochet the sleeves. The new stitch techniques used are treble crochet increase and double crochet decrease. Now, please watch as I demonstrate. First, let's crochet the apron. Refer to the chart. The starting chain for the apron is 5ch. Ch stands for chain stitch. That is, start with 5 chain stitches. Take out the corresponding color of yarn. For convenience in watching the sample, the yarn is chosen randomly here. Leave about 30 centimeters of yarn tail at the beginning. Make a slip knot. Slightly tighten the loop. Hold the yarn with your left hand. Pay attention. The yarn tail should be on the right side. Insert the hook into the loop. Then make 5 chain stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This chain counts as 1 stitch. The loop on the hook doesn't count as 1 stitch. Now, move on to the first row. Dow 2, 4x means starting from the second to last stitch. Work 4 single crochets to the left, corresponding one by one. As you crochet, pick up the top strand like this. This way, the first row is completed. Continue to the second row. Start with 1 chain stitch. Turn the work. Pay attention. When viewing from the wrong side of the row, the stitches correspond to the V-shaped loops above to the left. And on the wrong side, there are horizontal lines below each stitch. Next, pick up the stitches and work single crochets, corresponding one by one. The second row is completed. Next, the crocheting method for rows 3 to 6 is exactly the same as row 2. Please complete the first 6 rows on your own. I will not demonstrate this part. Now, I have already completed the first 6 rows. When counting the rows, you can count these rows of horizontal lines. The total number of rows is the sum of the horizontal lines on both sides. 1, 2, 3. This side has 3 rows of horizontal lines. 1, 2, 3. This side also has 3 rows of horizontal lines. That means a total of 6 rows have been crocheted here. Next, before working each row, make 1 chain stitch first. Rotate the fabric counterclockwise. Then, refer to the chart and crochet the corresponding stitch patterns as usual. Everyone please finish crocheting rows 7 to 29 of the apron. The method is quite simple, so I won't demonstrate it now. I have already completed the first 29 rows. Continue with row 30. Refer to the pattern. The first stitch is a single crochet. After completing it, place a stitch marker on this single crochet stitch. Then, crochet 1/2 double crochet, 1 double crochet, after completing them, that is, in the same stitch, crochet 2 treble crochets. One, 2, 1 treble crochet increase is completed. After completing it, make 1 chain stitch, then continue in the adjacent stitch on the left side, crochet 1 treble crochet increase. After completing it, crochet 1 double crochet, 1/2 double crochet, and 1 single crochet. Once this last single crochet is completed, make sure to mark the stitch as well. This way, row 30 is completed. Here, don't cut the yarn. After finishing the last row, the starting tail of the yarn will be at the bottom right corner. Next, we'll crochet the edging. Continue with this same yarn to crochet the first round of edging. Start with a chain stitch. Then, in the same insertion point as the last single crochet, work 1 single crochet, after completing it, continue along the left side of this row. The edge is like this. Insert your hook into the same spot where the last single crochet was worked. Crochet 1 single crochet. If you can't find the exact placement, simply pick up a few strands along the edge and work the stitch there, and roughly match 1 stitch per row. Repeat this process to complete this side. Once completed, you will reach the foundation row. In the same insertion point as the corner single crochet, work 2-3 single crochets. For the middle 2 insertion points, work 1 single crochet in each. Work 2-3 single crochets in this corner insertion point as well. Ensure that you have completed it. Make sure the edge is roughly even. Once completed, continue along this side, working one stitch into each stitch. When you reach the stitch marker, work 3 single crochets into the stitch at the stitch marker. After completing this, place a new marker in the middle stitch of these 3 stitches. Continue marking it. Then pick up stitches, working single crochets into each stitch correspondingly. When you reach the middle chain space, pick up the front loop of this chain, which is the strand facing you, and crochet 3 single crochets. Place a marker in the middle stitch of these 3 stitches. Then continue picking up stitches, working single crochets into each stitch correspondingly. When you reach the next marked position, work 3 single crochets into this stitch. And place a marker in the middle stitch. Finally, skip the turning chain and slip stitch into the first stitch to join. Then fasten off the yarn normally. This way, the first round of edging is completed. When the starting tail is at the bottom, right? The side of the fabric facing you is the right side. Continue to crochet the second row. Before crocheting, count about 17 rows from bottom to top. Then mark the corresponding single crochet stitches on both sides. I have already marked them here, with the right side of the piece facing you. Take out the corresponding color yarn. Join the yarn in one stitch near the corner. Which means drawing the yarn through. Leave a small tail at the beginning. Then make one chain stitch to secure. After completing that, start from the adjacent stitch on the left side and work single crochets into each stitch in sequence. Continue all the way to the position of this stitch marker on the left side. Hide the yarn tail as you crochet. Once completed, start working half double crochets, continuing until the stitch before the stitch marker on the left side. Once completed, when you reach the stitch marker position, make one chain stitch. Then continue from the stitch at the stitch marker, working half double crochets into each stitch in sequence. Continue all the way to the second stitch to the right of this stitch marker. Once completed, on the adjacent stitch on the left side, work 2 half double crochets. Once completed, at the stitch marker position, work 2 double crochets. Then crochet a stitch pattern symmetrical to this side, which means working 2 half double crochets into the stitch on the left side. Then work 1 half double crochet into each stitch, all the way to the stitch marker position. Once completed, make 1 chain stitch. Then, from the adjacent stitch on the left side, continue crocheting half double crochets, all the way to the stitch before the stitch marker. After completing, work single crochets evenly into each stitch, approximately crochet up to this corner position. Finally, make a slip stitch into the adjacent stitch on the left side. Don't cut the yarn, enlarge the loop. Pass the fabric through the loop and tighten it. This step essentially secures the yarn in place. So, that concludes the second row of edging. Now, continue with the third row. This row involves inserting the hook into the stitch positions from the second row. Make 1 slip stitch in each position. First, take your hook and insert it into the joining point where the yarn was attached at the start of the second row. Draw the yarn through. And be mindful not to carry the yarn too tight here. Just keep it straight. Then, proceed with the insertion points on the left side, making slip stitches in each position. Note that you don't need to tighten these slip stitches. Continue all the way to the end. Once completed, cut the yarn. Tuck the yarn tail to the wrong side and secure it. Then follow the texture to hide the yarn tail on the wrong side. I will skip this step for now. Up to this point, the crocheting method for the apron is completed. Next, move on to the coat. Start with the side piece. The starting method for the side piece is the same as for the apron. Refer to the starting method used for the apron. Cast on the corresponding number of chain stitches. I have already completed the starting chain here. After casting on, start the first row. These 3 chain stitches count as 1 double crochet. Begin from the 4th chain stitch from the end, picking up the top strand of yarn. First, crochet the corresponding number of double crochets. Once done, continue to follow the chart to crochet the corresponding stitch patterns. Complete this entire row. Upon completion, continue with the second row. First, make 3 chain stitches that count as the turning chain for a double crochet. This is equivalent to 1 double crochet, corresponding to the double crochet stitch on the edge. Then turn your work. Start from the 2nd stitch and crochet the corresponding stitch patterns as indicated in the chart. Complete this entire row. Pay attention, the last double crochet goes above this turning chain. Pick up 2 strands of yarn to crochet. Everyone, don't miss any stitches. After completing, continue with the 3rd row. Similarly, start with 3 chain stitches. Turn your work. Begin from the 2nd stitch and crochet the corresponding stitch patterns in sequence. Fa stands for double crochet decrease. First, in the adjacent stitch on the left side, work an incomplete double crochet. Continue in the next adjacent stitch on the left side, work the 2nd incomplete double crochet. After completing these, yarn over, and pull through all loops at once. That's a double crochet decrease. Correspondingly, there is also a V-shaped stitch on the top, right? Next, work 2 double crochets. After completing those, work another double crochet decrease, that is, in these 2 stitches on the left side. Work 1 incomplete double crochet in each stitch. Then yarn over and pull through all loops at once. Another double crochet decrease is done. Continue with 2 more double crochets. After completing those, work 1 double crochet decrease. After completing that, continue following the chart to finish the remaining stitches in this row. Similarly, for the edge turning chain, pick up 2 strands to work the last double crochet. This way, row 3 is completed. We will have the starting yarn tail at the lower left corner. When we finish, the side facing you is the right side of the fabric. If you cannot tell the difference, you can place a stitch marker anywhere on the right side to mark it. Continue with the half of rows 4-5. Start with row 4. Begin with 3 chain stitches as usual. Turn your work. Then work the corresponding stitches in sequence. Pay attention. Work the last single crochet decrease as usual. There's no need to work an invisible decrease. First, in the adjacent stitch on the left side, work an incomplete single crochet, that is, insert your hook into the stitch, and draw the yarn through. This is the incomplete single crochet. Continue by inserting your hook into the adjacent stitch on the left side, and draw the yarn through. After completing the 2 incomplete single crochets, yarn over, and pull the yarn through all loops at once. This way, the single crochet decrease is done. There will also be a V-shaped stitch corresponding to the upper right. Now, we've covered half of row 4. Once it's finished, continue with row 5. Note: start this row with 1 chain stitch as a turning chain. Turn your work. Skip. Skip means to skip over. If there's no number following, it defaults to skipping 1 stitch. That is, start from the 2nd stitch. Continue with the corresponding stitch pattern. Complete this row. After completing the row, leave a 70 cm yarn tail, and cut the yarn. Since the yarn tail is quite long, you can fold it in half a few times, and tie a temporary knot to secure it. This way, we have completed rows 4-5 on this half. Now continue with rows 4-5 on the other half. Before working, first determine the stitch placement. Start by facing the wrong side of the fabric towards yourself. with the foundation row facing down. Locate the insertion point on this side, starting from the stitch adjacent to the left. Count 10 stitches to the left. And at the 10th stitch, insert the crochet hook. Pick up the new yarn. Pull the yarn through. Crochet 1 chain to secure, then work the corresponding stitch pattern. The first stitch is a single crochet decrease. It should be worked as usual, meaning in these 2 stitches. You work 1 incomplete single crochet in each. Then yarn over and pull through all loops at once, completing the single crochet decrease. Continue to finish the remaining stitches as usual. After completing them, proceed to work row 5 as normal. Now, I've already finished the 5th row. After finishing, there is 1 stitch left. Leave 5-10 centimeters and fasten off normally. The yarn tail can be dealt with later. This way, one side is completed. Next, everyone can follow the same method. Crochet 1 more identical side. I will not repeat the demonstration. After completing the 2 side pieces, crochet the back piece on one of the side pieces. First, place this piece with the foundation row facing up. Start crocheting the first row from the side without the starting chain yarn tail. Insert the hook under the 2 strands of the base chain stitch of the edge standing stitch. To join the yarn, then crochet a single crochet in the same insertion point where you joined the yarn. Next, on the left side at these insertion points, work single crochets correspondingly all the way down to complete the first row of the back piece. After completing it, continue referring to the chart and work rows 2-5 back and forth. Now, I have already completed the 5th row. After completing it, leave a yarn tail of about 70 centimeters, then fasten off normally. Next, use the long yarn tails reserved from the side piece and the back piece to sew the pieces together. First, thread the long yarn tail from the side piece onto a sewing needle. With the right side out. Then pick up stitches sequentially. Roughly match and sew together. For the edge, just pick up 2 strands of the standing stitch. Ensure that after sewing, it is mostly flat. Once completed, tie a knot with these 2 yarn tails to secure them. Then hide the yarn tails on the wrong side. Pay attention. Do not cover the stitches here. The yarn tail from the starting chain of the side piece can be left unattended for now. This way, one side piece is sewn up. Next, follow the same method to sew the other side piece as well. The sewing method is identical to the previous one. I have already sewn this part here. Then, sew the back piece to this side piece. For the back piece, you will be picking up stitches. The side piece has stitch insertion points like this. The method is quite simple, so I won't demonstrate it. After sewing everything together, the next step is to crochet 4 rounds along the edge. First, crochet round 1. Find the starting tail of the yarn from the side piece. Place the right side of the piece facing you. Insert the hook into the stitch insertion point at the edge. Pick up the same color yarn from the side piece. For easier viewing, I will use a different color yarn to demonstrate. Join the yarn. And start from the joining position. In each insertion point, crochet 1 single crochet. After mostly completing this side piece, at this corner, crochet 1 single crochet decrease. Here, also crochet a regular decrease. For the back piece, pick up a few strands along the edge and crochet. After completing it, this section will have a few single crochets. Ensure that after completing, this area is roughly flat. At this corner, crochet 1 decrease stitch as well. After completing it, continue to work single crochets without increasing or decreasing, picking up the insertion points. When you reach the corner, you need to add stitches appropriately. You can pick up 2 strands on the last turning chain and crochet 2-3 single crochets. Ensure the corner is flat. Then along this edge, pick up a few strands sequentially and continue to work single crochets. When the edge is double crochets or turning chains for the double crochet, work 2-3 single crochets per row correspondingly. When the edge is single crochets, you can work 1 single crochet correspondingly. You can also crochet 1 stitch at the seam as needed, ensuring it's roughly flat after completing. After finishing this edge, at the same insertion point where you joined the yarn, crochet 1-2 more single crochets. Then in the first stitch, join with a slip stitch and fasten off normally. This way, the first round of the outer edging is completed. Continue to crochet the second round. Take the same color yarn as the wig. For demonstration purposes, the yarn color is chosen randomly. Join the yarn at the first stitch. Then starting from the joining position, work single crochets evenly into each stitch. When you reach these 2 corners, Make sure to crochet one single crochet decrease in each corner. In the middle part, continue crocheting without increasing or decreasing. Then keep crocheting single crochets evenly. Now we've reached the bottom edge. Around this corner stitch, crochet 2-3 single crochets. Then continue working single crochets evenly without increasing or decreasing. At this approximate corner stitch, do the same and crochet 2-3 single crochets. Once completed, join with a slip stitch as usual. That's it. The second round is now done. Continue with the third round. Start this round with one chain stitch, then work single crochets evenly without increasing or decreasing. Keep crocheting until you reach this corner. At the neckline, do not decrease stitches. Just crochet evenly without adding or subtracting stitches. When you reach this corner, around the approximate corner stitch, crochet 2-3 single crochets, then continue crocheting evenly. Do the same for this corner. Ensure it lays flat after completing it. After finishing all, join with a slip stitch normally. The method is quite simple, so I won't demonstrate it. The crochet method for the fourth round is the same as the third round. After completing, fasten off the yarn normally and weave in the ends. I won't demonstrate this either. Move on to crocheting the sleeves. Here, I will use the right sleeve as an example. Note, this refers to the actual left and right when wearing. First, crochet the first round. Take out the corresponding color of yarn. The sample uses random colors. Leave about 30 centimeters of yarn tail at the beginning. Start with 5 chains. Then, have this side facing you with the right side up. From this insertion point, all the way to the insertion point on the other side, crochet single crochets correspondingly. That is, crochet the corresponding number of single crochets as shown in the chart. Since the sleeve is crocheted in spirals, therefore, there's no need to finish with a slip stitch join at the end. After completing this round, continue with the second round. First, work the single crochets into these 5 chains. Pick up the strand from above, and crochet 1 single crochet into each. Pay attention, don't twist the braid. After completing the first single crochet, mark it. Continue crocheting. Once you've finished crocheting at the braid position, continue picking up the stitches here, and work single crochets correspondingly. Continue crocheting until one stitch before the stitch marker. This way, you will have completed the second round. Continue with the remaining rounds. Here, I have already completed the first 29 rounds. After completing, continue with the 30th round. In this round, you need to change colors. To maintain appearance, try to place the color change under the arm. That is, crochet up to the underarm position first. The stitch count in the chart is for reference only. Then make one incomplete single crochet. Take out the other color of yarn. Draw the new yarn through. The joining is now completed. Then continue to finish this round. Leave a small tail of the original yarn and cut it off. Slightly tighten the yarn tail. After completing the round, continue to finish the remaining rounds. After completing the last round, you need to crochet a few more stitches to ensure the starting position is at the underarm. Similarly, the stitch count in the chart is for reference only. Everyone should crochet according to the actual situation. Once everything is completed, stretch the loop and leave a yarn tail of about 10 centimeters. Directly cut the yarn. Thread the yarn tail onto a sewing needle. Insert from back to front into the adjacent stitch on the left side. Then, insert through the last stitch to the wrong side. Adjust it slightly. And hide the yarn tail on the wrong side. This way, One sleeve is completed. Next, everyone follow the same method. Complete the other sleeve in the same way. That is, when crocheting the single crochets for the first round, start from this insertion point and continue to this insertion point. I won't demonstrate this part. After the sleeve is completed, use the long yarn tail under the arm to sew the opening together. This way, that concludes the sleeves. Next, we will crochet the bride's outfit. The bride's outfit includes the apron, the collar, the sleeves, the dress and the hem. Start with the apron. I have already completed this part. Similarly, leave about 30 centimeters of yarn tail at the beginning. The crocheting method is the same as for the groom's outfit. The only difference is in the colors and the number of rows that don't increase or decrease. Refer to the chart for specific crocheting. After completing the main part, don't cut the yarn. Continue to crochet the edging. The crocheting pattern for the edging is the same as for the groom's apron. For the first round, work a round of single crochets around the outer edge. Then switch to the corresponding color yarn. Continue with the second row. Before working, similarly, count about 17 rows up from here. Place markers before starting to crochet. After completing, at the insertion point of the second row, work slip stitches respectively. Finally, fasten off and weave in ends normally. I will not repeat the demonstration. Refer to the demonstration for the groom's apron. Let's continue learning the crocheting method for the collar. The collar also starts with a foundation chain. Then start from the second to last chain stitch and work single crochets correspondingly into each stitch. Here, I have already completed the foundation chain and the first row. After completing the first row, continue with the second row. For this row, you don't need to make a turning chain at the beginning. Simply turn your work and work one single crochet decrease. The single crochet decreases in this row are worked normally. There's no need to use invisible decreases. After completing the decrease, work 3 single crochets in sequence, followed by 3 half double crochets and 2 double crochets. Once done, FV indicates a double crochet increase, which means working 2 double crochets into the same stitch. After completing this, continue to work the remaining stitches of this row in sequence. Now, the second row of the collar is now completed. Continue with the third row. I have already finished this part, so please refer to the chart to crochet the remaining stitches. I won't demonstrate this part. Once done, continue with the fourth row. Turn your work. Start by skipping one stitch, which means skipping one slip stitch. Pay attention. The first two single crochets should be worked into the insertion point of the slip stitch. In other words, start crocheting from the insertion point of this central slip stitch. If you can't find it precisely, an approximate location is fine. After completing the two single crochets, mark the first single crochet stitch. Continue picking up stitches and crocheting as usual. Crochet one more single crochet. After completing it, continue picking up stitches and crocheting the corresponding number of stitch patterns as usual. When you reach the ending position, crochet 3 more single crochets. The first stitch should be worked into the adjacent single crochet stitch on the left side. The remaining 2 stitches should be worked into the insertion points of the 2 slip stitches on the left. If you can't find them precisely, an approximate location is fine. After completing the last single crochet, make sure to place a marker as well. This way, row 4 is completed. Finally, leave about 10 centimeters of yarn tail. Break the yarn and weave in the yarn tail. For now, do not deal with the starting tail. When we start with the tail on the lower left corner, the side facing you is the right side. This way, that concludes the collar. Let's continue with the sleeves. The sleeves are crocheted on both sides of the collar. I'll demonstrate with the left sleeve first. Here, we refer to the actual left and right when worn. Take out the corresponding color yarn. Leave about 30 centimeters of yarn tail at the start, then make 6 chain stitches. Next, have the right side of the collar facing you, with the foundation row facing down. Start from the stitch just left of the stitch marker on the right side. Crochet 8 single crochets. since the sleeve is also crocheted in spirals. Therefore, there's no need to crochet a slip stitch here. This way, the first round of the sleeve is completed. Continue with the second round. First, pick up a loop from above the first chain stitch. Crochet 1 single crochet. Similarly, make a mark on the first stitch. Don't twist the chain stitch. Continue to pick up a loop from above. Work single crochets into each stitch correspondingly. Then pick up stitches and work single crochets into each one correspondingly. Now, the second round is completed. After completing, you can check the stitch count. Continue crocheting down for the sleeve. Here, I have already completed the first 27 rounds. After finishing, similarly, continue with a few more stitches. Bring the yarn tail to the underarm side. Then break the yarn and weave in the ends. For the situations involved, they have been explained earlier, so I won't demonstrate them again. After completing the left sleeve, continue with the right sleeve. Pick up the new yarn, leave about 30 centimeters of yarn tail at the beginning, then make 6 chain stitches. Place the collar with the right side facing you. Start with the foundation row below. Begin from the stitch to the right of the stitch marker on the left side. Count 8 stitches. Starting from the 8th stitch, work single crochets to the left. That is, work 8 single crochets. This way, the first round of the sleeve is completed. After completing it, refer to the demonstration and explanation of the left sleeve, and continue following the chart to complete the right sleeve as well. The two sleeves are generally similar overall, but there are slight differences in the positions for increasing stitches and changing colors. I won't demonstrate this part. After completing both sleeves, you need to crochet the edging along the neckline edge. Use the same color yarn as the base. And at the insertion points of the first row of the collar, crochet slip stitches respectively. The method is the same as crocheting slip stitches for the apron. After completing it, cut the yarn. Tie a knot on the wrong side to secure each yarn tail. And hide them. I'll skip hiding the yarn tails. Next, continue using the same color to crochet the edging along the bottom of the collar. That is, crochet slip stitches into the stitches of the last row of the collar. With this, we have covered the collar and sleeves. Now, continue crocheting the dress. The dress also starts with a foundation chain along half of the starting braid. Work back and forth in rows. When crocheting some rows, connect the remaining braids. Finally, also add an edging. Next, please watch as I demonstrate. First, following the method used for starting an apron, cast on the corresponding number of chain stitches. Pay attention. Leave a tail of about 50 centimeters at the beginning. After completing, start from the second chain from the hook. Pick up the strand above. Work 20 single crochets, corresponding one by one. Once the single crochets are done, on the adjacent chain to the left, pick up the strand above again, and make one slip stitch. This way, the first row is completed. Leave the remaining chains unworked for now. And continue with the second row. No turning chain is needed. Just turn your work over. Start from the edge single crochet stitch. And work 19 single crochets, corresponding one by one. Pay attention. Skip the braid formed by the slip stitch. After completing, one stitch remains. Work a single crochet increase. The second row is now completed. Continue with the third row. Work one chain stitch. Turn your work. Then, work 21 single crochets, corresponding one by one. That is, into the single crochet stitches of the previous row. Work one single crochet each. After completing, on the adjacent chain to the left, make a slip stitch join. This way, the third row is completed. Continue with the fourth row. After finishing the braid side each time, you don't need to work a turning chain for the next row. Simply turn your work. Then crochet the corresponding stitch pattern. Pay attention. Skip the chains formed by the slip stitches. After completing, continue with the fifth row. Each time you start crocheting from the side without braids, begin with one chain stitch. Then continue crocheting as usual. At the end, on the left side chain, Make a slip stitch. If the word skip appears before a slip stitch, it means to skip one chain stitch. On the second chain from the left, make one slip stitch. Next, follow the chart to crochet on your own. Continue all the way down to row 37. Don't cut the yarn after finishing. I won't demonstrate this part. Now, I have already completed row 37. After finishing, continue with the same yarn, and crochet the edging along these 3 sides. First, turn your work. Similarly, skip the slip stitch at the edge. Then make 5 single crochets. Four half double crochets. And 9 double crochets. After completing, make 1 double crochet decrease. When you reach this side edge, make 1 to 2 chain stitches. Then pick up a few threads along the edge and work single crochets in sequence. There's no specific number for the single crochets, just ensure the edge is roughly flat. For this corner, crochet a bit more. Finish crocheting this side. After completing, when you reach this edge, which is the side of the starting chain braid, first make 1 to 2 chain stitches. Then, at approximately 2 insertion points along the edge, work 1 double crochet decrease. After completing that, continue and work 9 double crochets in sequence. Work 4 half double crochets. For the rest, work single crochets evenly. The number of single crochets should be roughly the same as on this side. It's fine if it differs by 1 or 2 stitches. After completing, fasten off the yarn normally. We will consider the right side of this edging row as the right side of the fabric. If you can't tell the difference, you can place a marker anywhere on this side. After completing, have the right side facing you? Use the same color yarn as the bottom edge. Pick up stitches along the bottom edge roughly. Work slip stitches in sequence. The method is quite simple, so I won't demonstrate it. That concludes the explanation of the dress. Now, continue to crochet the hem. The hem also starts with a foundation chain. Follow the chain braid, and work back and forth. After crocheting, sew the two sides together. Next, please watch my demonstration. First, refer to the pattern instructions, and start with the corresponding number of chain stitches. Here, I have already started them. Note, the sample has fewer stitches. The main focus is on the method. At the beginning, leave a tail of about 60 centimeters. After completing this, start crocheting the first row. For this row, follow the chart from right to left. Begin from the 8th chain stitch from the end. Pick up the top loop. Work 1 double crochet first. Then work 2 chain stitches, all in the same insertion position. Work 1 more double crochet. Then work 2 chain stitches. After completing this, in the same insertion position, work 1 more double crochet. Then work 2 chain stitches. After completing this, skip 2 chain stitches below. On the 3rd stitch from the left, pick up the top loop again. Work 1 single crochet. You can pull this part below first to check. Make sure you don't work in the wrong position. Pay attention. The single crochets on the hem are regular single crochets, not X-stitch single crochets. That means insert the hook with the yarn above the hook. Then yarn over, draw the yarn through. Yarn over again, and pull through all loops at once. This is a regular single crochet. After this row, we will pick up only the top loop of the chains for crocheting. For convenience in explaining, we refer to 3 double crochets together with 4 chains in the middle as one motif. After completing the single crochet, continue with 2 chain stitches. Skip 2 stitches below and work 1 motif. That is, on the 3rd stitch. Work 1 double crochet, 2 chain stitches, 1 double crochet, 2 chain stitches, and 1 double crochet. After completing this, work 2 chain stitches, skip 2 stitches below, and on the 3rd stitch, work 1 single crochet. Note, here you place the hook underneath the yarn. Yarn over, and pull the yarn through. For the rest of this row, alternate between motifs and single crochets each time. And always skip 2 chain stitches below. Work 2 chain stitches on both sides of the motif. Follow this pattern and continue crocheting. After completing the last motif, work 2 more chain stitches. There should be 2 chain stitches remaining below. On the last stitch, work 1 double crochet. That's how the first row is completed. Now continue to the second row. For this row, refer to the chart from left to right. From now on, always read the chart starting from the side with the turning chain. Start by crocheting 6 chain stitches directly. Then turn your work. on the double crochet stitch of the motif edge. Work 1 single crochet. After finishing, 3 chain stitches. Then on the left double crochet stitch of the motif, work 1 single crochet. Next, always work 1 single crochet on each side of the double crochet stitches from the previous row's motifs. Work 1 single crochet for each position. Between these single crochets, make 3 chain stitches as a connection. Following this pattern, continue crocheting. After completing the last single crochet at the final motif position, make 3 chain stitches. Then, count 3 chain stitches to the left from this double crochet. On the 3rd chain stitch, pick up 2 loops and work 1 double crochet. If you can't find the exact position, an approximate location is fine. That's it. We've finished talking about the 2nd row. Continue with the 3rd row. Refer to the pattern. Make 5 chain stitches first. Turn the work. In the chain space on the left side, work 1 motif. After finishing, make 2 chain stitches. In the chain space on the left side, work 1 single crochet, 2 chain stitches. Next, continue in these chain spaces. Alternately work motif and single crochets on both sides of each motif. 2 chain stitches respectively. Follow this pattern. Continue crocheting. For the last chain space, work a motif perfectly. When finished, 2 chain stitches. Count 3 chain stitches from the bottom up. On the 3rd chain, work a double crochet. Like this, we've completed the 3rd row. Continue with rows 4 through 9. Even numbered rows follow the same crocheting method as row 2. Odd numbered rows are identical to row 3. Refer to the previous demonstration on your own to complete the first 9 rows. I won't demonstrate this part. After completing them, I will continue to demonstrate row 10. Using a sample swatch, refer to the chart. Start with 1 chain stitch. Turn your work. On the edge double crochet stitch. Work a single crochet. Work 3 chain stitches. Then proceed in the same way as the middle of row 2. Working single crochets into the double crochet stitches on both sides of each motif, with 3 chain stitches between each. After completing the last motif position, work 3 chain stitches. Then in the 3rd chain stitch from the edge, work the last single crochet. When completed, fold the fabric like this to form a ring. Locate the starting single crochet position of this row. In this single crochet stitch, make a slip stitch to join. Pull tight. This completes row 10. When completed, continue crocheting and move on to the next round upwards, that is, round 11. Make 3 chain stitches. In the left chain space, work 3 double crochets. Then in the left single crochet stitch, work 1 double crochet. Next, in the left chain space, alternate between 3 double crochets and 2 double crochets. In the last chain space, work 3 double crochets. Work 1 double crochet in each single crochet stitch. Complete this round all the way through. After finishing the last chain space, at the top of the turning chain, which is the 3rd chain stitch, pick up 2 loops and make a slip stitch to join. Then leave a tail of about 50 centimeters and cut the yarn. We will use the right side of the last round of the dress hem as the right side of the fabric. If you cannot tell the difference, you can mark it. Finally, use the long yarn tail left at the end. Sew the 2 sides together. There are no specific requirements for sewing, just align them roughly. After sewing, cut and weave in the yarn tail. That's it. We have completed the hem of the dress.